Time for the 49ers Rush podcast.
Here's what I want to talk about. David on Patreon, he emailed me this, and I did a deep dive, which I'm bad at. I always do this. Late at night, I'll be watching like TV with the wife or something. A lot of times we'll watch it in my office because I have emails to answer and stuff. And somebody will send me on a tangent. So David, I just want to say thank you for doing this. This is the only question he asked, okay? He said, it will be interesting to see how Russ and Carroll do separately. That's all he said. It was a little bit more and, whatever else. But as far as the question goes, that was it. And so I was like, man, this is interesting to me. And my first takeaway, and I think the way I responded to the email, I didn't even tell him I want to be doing this on air, but I put the Seahawks roster has been terrible forever. It's been really, really bad. And Russ saved them, Russell Wilson, for the longest time. Just bailed them out. And I expect similar results to the whole Brady and Belichick thing. I don't think the Denver Broncos are going to win the Super Bowl, but I think they're a Super Bowl-esque team. That's a solid roster. And I think Russ is a top 6, 7 quarterback in the NFL. I know that whatever. I don't want to get into that too much. That's not what this is about. But Seahawks are not making the playoffs, and they're terrible. And so I whenever the phrase like terrible Seahawks roster, I was like, man, I'm curious. When was the last Seahawks first round pick a hit? When was the last good first round pick by the Seahawks? You got to go a ways. You got to go back a ways. And so I did that. Now, then I was like, okay, well, hold on. That's Seahawks. What about the 49ers? Let's look at the 49ers first round picks during that frame as well, that time frame. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe let's get a better story. Let's look at first and second pick, regardless of where it was. And it tells a story. I think it tells a very good story. Let's go back to 2017. Because that's the first year Shanahan showed up. Carroll and them were already there, long way, right? And Melissa says, yeah, they traded a lot of their first rounders. They didn't trade they did trade a bunch. And 2017 started off equally bad, right? So Shanahan, they get Solomon Thomas, didn't work out. They traded up with Seattle in the first round to get Reuben Foster, didn't work out. Well, guess what? Seattle didn't do well either. They got Malik McDowell, who was the worst of any of those players mentioned, and Ethan Posick, who's not even with the team anymore. But Posick was by far the best player of the 4. All right, cool. 2017, we'll give it to him. 2018, 49ers get Mike McGlinchey, then trade up for Dante Pettis. Oh, I love Pettis so much. I loved Dante Pettis. I thought he was going to be great, but mentally just wasn't there. Well, who'd the Seahawks get? Rashad Penny? Okay. And Rasheem Green. Yeah, McGlinchey by far the best player out of those. All right, 2019. And this is where the chasm gets built. 49ers first 2 picks. Nick Bosa, Deebo Samuel. Good God. All right, well, okay. Who did the Seahawks get? LJ Collier, Marquise Blair. Like, that is just now, and you could say, well, the 49ers were picking second. Well, guess what? They passed on Deebo for LJ Collier. Come on, man. All right, cool. Let's go to 2020. First 2 49ers pick, Javon Kinlaw, Brandon Ayuk. Oh, and you could say, well, Kinlaw hasn't done it yet. Kinlaw had a decent rookie year, not a lot of sacks. Injured last year. We'll see. Things are putting up. Ayuk's been awesome. Who did the Seahawks get? Jordan Brooks, who's decent. I'm going to be honest. I think that he is a 8 to 15 inside linebacker in the league. Not bad. That's not bad. He's a good player. And Darrell Taylor. Not even close. Ayuk is by far the better player. And if you had to tell me to choose right now between Jordan Brooks and Javon Kinlaw, I'm telling you right now, 32 out of 32 teams would take Javon Kinlaw. 32 out of 32 teams would. Off the ball linebacker, very little positional value. 2021. And people are like, oh, right? Traded picks, right? Seahawks traded for Jamal Adams, multiple first rounders. That was awesome. Blitz boy. Thank you, Tommy. Their second. Okay, so if we just look at their first 2 picks, Dwayne Eskridge hasn't done anything. And Trey Brown, not much. Who did the 49ers get with their first 2 picks? Oh, yeah. Trey Lance and Aaron Banks, which Aaron Banks would have been seen as a bust last year. Now he's starting, looking pretty damn good. Trey Lance is the future of the franchise. Is there anybody on this damn list that I just went through for freaking 5 years that is the future of the Seattle Seahawks? They got nothing. They got nothing. It's just the difference with the way in which they built their roster. And the way that I got to text my son, he just texted me from football practice. He got done. I got to text him, call mom. Sorry about that, guys. Mom's got him. Mom's got him. Sorry about that. Go little Chapman. Man, it's getting done late. Anyway, it's just it's bad drafting. And you could go through more than just the first and second pick. It's a lot. But and it's I didn't do this to throw shade on the Seahawks, which is my favorite pastime of my life. I freaking hate the Seahawks. Doo-doo birds. But it's also to say this is how teams get built. I mean, listen to these. McGlinchey, right? Bosa, Debo, Trey Lance, Kinlaw, Ayuk, Banks. That's 7 starters. 7 at key positions: quarterback, wide receivers, tackles, edge rushers. And I'm looking at this, and I think the Seahawks got 2 starters, 3 starters if you count their running back. That's it. Like it matters. Now I am with you, Kali. Boye Mafe is awesome. I love Boye Mafe. I had him ranked very, very high, and I think that was a great pick. And so maybe things will change. I don't know. Pete Carroll, ego destroyed the old line. Yeah, he did, and the Legion of Holding, she called them. I respect the Legion of Boom. I really, really do. I thought Earl Thomas was the best safety in the game for about 5 to 6 years. Obviously, Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor. I like what they built there, their personality. But you are correct. Russell Wilson's fragile ego destroyed that Legion of Boom. You can go back and read the Sherman article, which was awesome. And he talked about the day the Legion of Boom died when Pete Carroll started, coddling Russell Wilson. But back to this argument and the question that started it all. Who was the last great first round pick for Seattle? You got to go back to 2010, Earl Thomas. Then before that, 2000, Sean Alexander. 2 great picks this millennium. It's been 22 damn years with 2 good first round picks. Earl Thomas is great. He fell off a cliff quick. Sean Alexander was great. I'd take Bosa and Debo over both of them. And the 49ers did that in 1 draft. Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know where I wanted to go with it. I just thought that was a fun journey that shows the departure of the franchise that is the Seattle Seahawks. And they're going to be rebuilding for a while, man.